Dinar Shift, welcome to this special report where we dissect a financial phenomenon that is currently unfolding with breathtaking speed and significance. We are talking about the ascent Iraqi Dinar, a currency that for years remained on the periphery of global attention, but is now at the epicenter of a quiet yet powerful wave of activity. This isn't mere speculation or background chatter. What we're witnessing is a fundamental shift in market dynamics, driven by sophisticated actors and key developments within the Iraqi financial landscape. Reports from trusted private buyers, established banks, and even influential global investment funds have confirmed an extraordinary and sustained increase in dinar-related transactions over the past few weeks, signaling a major transition that many ordinary observers are still struggling to comprehend, but which those intimately familiar with the Iraqi economy recognize as a potentially historic turning point. This surge is not a local or isolated event. It represents a silent frenzy occurring behind the curtain of mainstream finance. The overwhelming demand for the Iraqi dinar has exploded almost without public fanfare, compelling us to investigate what professional investors are observing, what major international banks are silently implementing, and how this all connects to the Republic of Iraq's overarching strategy for its next major financial move. If you are someone who has monitored this currency for an extended period, or if you are simply seeking to understand a geopolitical economic event of this magnitude, this comprehensive breakdown contains the essential information you need to contextualize the unfolding situation. The past 72 hours alone have provided striking evidence of this sudden shift, with multiple reputable exchange platforms and individual dealers reporting an unusual rapid depletion of their dinar inventories. It is highly unusual for physical Iraqi dinar notes to become scarce in this manner. Typically, large volumes are consistently available to meet market demand. Yet we are now seeing thousands, sometimes millions of dinars, being acquired by single buyers in rapid succession, a pattern of aggressive accumulation that suggests a coordinated strategy is at play. The velocity and scale of these purchases are unprecedented in recent history. Simultaneously, a key indicator for currency market experts has been the subtle but undeniable adjustment of exchange rates on various online trading platforms. An hourly observation of these rates has shown a steady, upward tick in value, a clear and unmistakable hallmark of massive, explosive demand that has been triggered by an external, non-random catalyst. This swift and decisive buying movement is not based on fleeting rumor or superficial hype. Rather, it appears to be the prelude to a major financial transition, designed to fundamentally redefine the international perception and tradability of the Iraqi dinar. The sheer volume being moved indicates that those, the know, are executing a meticulously prepared strategy, positioning themselves ahead of the public curve. To understand the root cause of this massive rush, we must turn our attention to an announcement from the Central Bank of Iraq (CBI) that was seemingly technical and easy to overlook by the general public. Yet, buried within a routine update on their official website was a single, highly significant line of text that served as the primary spark. That crucial line spoke of Iraq's imminent completion of preparations for integrating the dinar into GA's international currency settlement systems. For those less familiar with the arcane language of central banking, this phrase might sound dry, but for global investors, it was a profound green light. It clearly signaled that Iraq was actively preparing to fully integrate the dinar into the global financial architecture, allowing international banks and corporate entities to transact freely and directly with the currency outside of restrictive frameworks. This single piece of information, a technical footnote, was all it took to catalyze years of patient waiting into aggressive action by long-term holders and new market entrants alike. The central bank's subtle disclosure, which pointed toward a pivotal strategic moment, was quickly amplified by the recent public statements of Prime Minister Sudani. The Prime Minister spoke with clear conviction about Iraq's imminent move into a new phase of economic stability and growth, one where the intrinsic strength of the national currency would finally and accurately reflect the true progress and potential of the country. When seasoned investors synthesized the central bank's technical update with the Prime Minister's high-level economic vision, the implication became impossible to ignore that timing for a significant market event was rapidly approaching. This created a sense of urgency among investors who had held positions for years, prompting them to move swiftly and decisively before the wider financial community fully realized the scope of the shift. The result was a coordinated, aggressive, and yet quiet wave of large purchases that started to sweep through the market, generating a significant domino effect as other aware buyers scrambled to secure their own positions. This organized momentum, fueled by both technical signals and high-level political reassurance, is the true engine driving the current dinar frenzy. It is essential to understand that this activity is not rooted in unfounded speculative chatter. It is a strategic positioning, undertaken by experienced financial players who are acting on verifiable indicators of an impending structural change. This is the difference between hoping for a change and acting on the confirmed preparations for one. Adding further credence to this narrative are the internal whispers and signs emanating from major international banking institutions. Reports have surfaced that key banks, including those with global reach such as Chase, Wells Fargo, and HSBC, have begun implementing as internal placeholders for the Iraqi dinar within their proprietary currency systems. While these internal adjustments do not automatically mean that dinar exchanges are open for retail transactions, They are an undeniable and significant indicator that large financial networks are proactively updating their systems to accommodate a new dinar valuation. This is a critical stage in the process of currency transition. In previous comparable global currency events, these internal systems changes were historically observed as a precursor to a major financial announcement. Banks must prepare their expansive networks, meticulously test integration with new currency parameters, and ensure sufficient liquidity is provisioned before making any official public declaration. When these internal indicators begin to appear across multiple major financial institutions, it creates an unmistakable pattern that experienced investors immediately recognize. This sequence of preparatory steps suggests that something substantial is on the horizon, moving the narrative beyond simple market anticipation and into the realm of confirmed preparation for a dramatic shift. On the ground, the impact of this demand is tangible, with private currency dealers now facing acute pressures. Many are reporting significant shortages of physical dinar notes, particularly for lower denominations, which are often preferred for smaller-scale transactions. Some dealers are even advising customers that the arrival of new bulk shipments of currency could be delayed by weeks. This physical shortage is not random. It is partially a result of the Central Bank of Iraq deliberately restricting bulk currency exports, a calculated move to carefully control the flow and distribution of large quantities of dinar. This restricted supply suggests an intention to manage the market dynamics ahead of a potential structural revaluation or the transition into a digital currency system. For those who already possess the Iraqi dinar, this environment represents a moment of strategic opportunity, not just speculative waiting. It is a chance to move from holding an asset to positioning for a significant, confirmed financial event. Investor behavior in this current climate is split into two distinct yet interacting groups. The first group consists of the quiet, long-term holders, who have maintained their positions for years, enduring periods of market indifference and ignoring sensationalized hype. They are now engaged in a cautious, strategic preparation for the official exchange window, carefully calculating their optimal exit or next move without rushing to sell into the current buying flurry. The second prominent group comprises the newcomers to the dinar market. Individuals who have recently recognized the mounting technical and political indicators pointing toward a potential structural change. These new investors are often consolidating resources or making private, bulk acquisitions, and their aggressive entry into the market is directly contributing to the upward pressure on prices. The combined effect of these two investor types, the patient, knowledgeable insiders and the aggressive, newly motivated entrants, is generating unique and unprecedented market dynamics that are amplifying the sense of immediate scarcity and urgency across the board. The strategy for those involved is clearly one of cautious and informed positioning. For those who already hold dinar, the best course of action remains one of calm patience and vigilance. It is critical to avoid making any decisions based on unsubstantiated rumors and to ensure that all physical notes are legitimate and meticulously documented for future exchange. Conversely, for individuals considering an initial acquisition, the counsel is to thoroughly verify sources, conduct diligent personal research, and resist the emotional pull of the current buying frenzy. Experience shows that periods of intense excitement often correlate with a sharp increase in fraudulent activities and scams. Remaining informed, cautious, and grounded in official information is paramount to protecting one's assets during this critical window. The CBI has meticulously executed several critical financial milestones in preparation for this moment. These include the successful testing of a digital dinar framework, the robust integration with global platforms like SWIFTs for secure international messaging, and ensuring full compliance with complex international banking standards and regulations. Furthermore, the CBI has officially confirmed that it maintains sufficient foreign reserves to successfully underpin and support a new, higher exchange rate. These are not minor achievements. They represent the monumental effort required to establish a stable and fundamentally strong currency base, which is what builds confidence among global institutional investors. The confidence generated by these foundational steps has led to major institutional investors, not just individual retail buyers, significantly increasing their exposure to Iraq-linked assets. This indicates that the dinar is no longer viewed merely as a speculative asset in a local market, but rather as a component of a calculated, large-scale international investment strategy. Concurrently, Iraq's oil exports have reached record-setting levels, and the government is actively focusing on reducing national debt and diversifying its revenue streams beyond oil dependence. This shift away from a monoculture economy is a powerful sign of structural change. Moreover, the process of integrating global digital payment platforms with Iraq's burgeoning new financial framework is well underway. All these cumulative developments strongly suggest that Iraq is not just a developing market attempting to recover, but is strategically transitioning into a recognized and rising economic power. This shift in global economic perception is crucial, as currency valuations in the long run invariably trend toward reflecting the underlying economic reality of the issuing nation. The dinar, once frequently dismissed as inherently unstable, is now being strategically repositioned as a currency that genuinely mirrors Iraq's confirmed economic growth and potential. This current surge in demand is about more than just a potential change in the exchange rate. It is a prelude to the future digital dinar. Once the digital infrastructure is fully established and operational, both citizens and international investors will be able to move the dinar through modern digital wallets, secure mobile applications, and seamless international transfers. The ability to link the dinar to global systems like PayPal, Venmo, and major card networks will enable Iraq to fully engage in international digital transactions, fundamentally transforming the currency's utility. This will elevate the dinar from a primarily national currency to an active and integral part of the ASA global financial ecosystem. Consequently, the intense buying frenzy we observe today is a direct preparatory maneuver for this comprehensive digital transition. Astute investors are seeking to secure strong positions in both physical and anticipated digital formats before the market officially transitions and the full digital framework is launched. Furthermore, as regional markets are taking significant notice and responding strategically, neighboring countries, particularly economic leaders like Kuwait and the UAE, have begun the process of adjusting their bilateral trade agreements to specifically include the direct settlement of transactions using the dinar. This incorporation of the dinar into regional trade agreements is a highly significant step, as it means that Iraqi trade partners can begin to utilize the dinar directly for imports and exports, as bypassing the customary conversion to the US dollar. This direct use in regional commerce grants Iraq far greater economic independence and effectively compels international markets to treat the dinar as a serious, usable currency in global trade. Financial analysts are increasingly scrutinizing the dinar, labeling it as one of the most important emerging currencies of 2020 finders. The previously quiet buildup of institutional and market activity is now becoming a force that is simply impossible for the global community to ignore. The psychology of investors is a critical factor in the current dynamic. There is a palpable sense that a major financial breakout is imminent, a moment where the technical figures on the screen could experience a dramatic and long-anticipated shift. This anticipation is not unfounded. It is deeply lyrical patterns of previous major currency revaluations and redenominations observed globally. Informed investors consistently position themselves proactively, moving ahead of official confirmations to secure the most advantageous positions before the broader, less informed market can react to the public news. This is precisely the psychological driver at work today. The long-term holders continue to demonstrate patient vigilance, monitoring the official signals while the rapid influx of newcomers is aggressively scrambling to build their portfolios before any definitive, official news is disseminated. This dual pressure from both patient aggressive buyers is powerfully as amplifying the current market rush and contributing significantly to the increasing scarcity of physical dinar inventory. Beyond the physical market, the next monumental chapter for the dinar is the DAS digital transformation. Iraq is building a fully digital ecosystem promising us real-time tracking, seamless mobile transactions, and secure international money transfers. The full implementation of the digital dinar will be a watershed moment for Iraq's financial autonomy. While physical notes will remain in circulation, the vast majority of transactional volume is expected to migrate online, enabling a smooth and immediate integration with global banking and payment systems. Investors who fully grasp the magnitude of this transition see the digital move as this pivotal event, which comprehensively explains the intense, dual market frenzy currently observed in both the physical and the emerging digital dinar space. This is a moment of profound financial reengineering. Looking forward, transparency will serve as the indispensable key. The Central Bank of Iraq is expected to issue a series of formal, official announcements regarding the timelines for exchange windows, any new official rates, and the schedule for digital adoption. It is absolutely vital for all investors and current dinar holders to pay exclusive and close attention to verified official channels, actively avoiding reliance on unconfirmed private information or the inevitable market rumors. Making financial decisions based on sensationalized chatter can easily lead to significant financial setbacks or the forfeiture of genuine opportunities. This current phase is properly understood as the critical preparation period before the official, confirmed wave of change hits the market. Being fully informed and acting with strategic caution will be the factor that ultimately differentiates those who achieve success from those who suffer potential setbacks. While the general excitement is justifiably high, a strong degree of vast caution is equally warranted. Any individual newly entering this market must fully comprehend the inherent risks, which include the potential for elaborate scams, the circulation of counterfeit notes, and the constant threat of misinformation. The combination of high demand and constrained supply naturally creates a highly fertile environment for dishonest actors. Therefore, as verified purchases, the meticulous maintenance of documentation and remaining firmly grounded in official, central bank communications are absolutely essential for security and success. Financial history is replete with examples where individuals who acted without diligent research during major financial transitions ultimately paid a steep price, while those who planned methodically and strategically reaped substantial and long-lasting rewards. At the time for strategic preparation is now. The sheer scale of US's institutional attention, now being directed toward Iraq, is profoundly impressive. Influential European investment funds, powerful Middle Eastern sovereign banks, and major global hedge funds are all actively and significantly increasing their exposure to Iraq. Crucially, this exposure is not limited to oil revenues but is expanding into broader banking and currency-linked assets. This collective action is a decisive indication that the dinar is being systematically repositioned as a strategic global asset, far beyond the limited scope of purely speculative trading. This large-scale involvement tends to accelerate market activity, significantly reducing the window of opportunity for retail investors. Fez's public perception of Iraq is undergoing a fundamental and necessary change. The nation is increasingly viewed not as a high-risk, politically unstable environment, but as a credible and emerging financial player. This is due to stabilized governance, robust and rising oil revenues, and the development of its digitally ready banking infrastructure. This comprehensive reassessment of Iraq's foundational economic status is one of the most powerful drivers behind the dinar's recent surge. Investors are now operating under the belief that when official rates are announced, the market will finally reflect the country's actual and confirmed economic strength, which is why demand is aggressively climbing. Cue the confluence of positive political signals, the detailed internal preparation by major international banks, and the advanced state of digital readiness create unprecedented alignment of factors. A true, perfect storm for a major financial event. For the first time in many years, nearly every external and internal indicator is converging to suggest that a major structural shift is imminent. Every single data point, from the placeholders appearing in internal bank systems to the restricted availability of physical currency notes, points toward a meticulously coordinated and planned launches. Observers in the global financial arena are now actively noticing this quiet but undeniable build-up, and the situation is now impossible to ignore. This particular moment is truly historic. Years of skepticism and doubt surrounding the dinar are now being directly challenged and overturned by hard facts and systematic preparations. The coordinated efforts of Iraq's leadership, the modernization of its banking infrastructure, and the sharply rising interest from global institutional investors are all converging to forge as new financial reality. The currency that was once marginalized is now commanding serious and profound attention. Long-term holders who maintain their course are now preparing for potentially transformative changes, while new market entrants are in a desperate scramble to secure their positions before the official and final roll-out begins. As we move through this critical period, preparation remains everything. It is essential to diligently verify all holdings, constantly track official announcements from the central bank, and have a clearly defined strategy for the post-exchange environment. Regardless of whether one's goal is capital growth, portfolio diversification, or simply supporting the economic future of Iraq, planning now is non-negotiable. The wave of activity we are tracking is a definitive, strategic positioning for a moment that holds the potential to reshape the entire currency landscape of Iraq and the region. The trajectory of the dinar for the next decade may very well be defined by the events of the next few weeks. The hidden wave is now fully visible, and the world's financial community is finally taking notice. From the actions of major international banks to the signing of new regional trade agreements and the relentless progress of digital integration, all the necessary elements are lining up in perfect sequence. Investors, current holders, and even casual observers must maintain a grounded perspective, rely solely on verified official information, and fully understand that this is a moment for strategic action, not emotional reaction. Patience, thorough preparation, and clear awareness will be the ultimate determinants of who benefits most from what is shaping up to be one of the most significant financial events of this decade. We are literally watching financial history unfold in real time. The frenzy of purchasing, the meticulous preparations being made by major institutions, and the dramatic rise in global interest are not simply background noise, they are powerful and coordinated signals. Iraq is decisively stepping onto the international financial stage as a modern, digitally aware economy, and the dinar is being positioned to accurately reflect the country's true, confirmed economic strength. Every major purchase, every internal system update, and every single strategic diplomatic move is part of a much larger, carefully designed picture. This is no longer a matter of mere market speculation. This is the calculated and deliberate unfolding of a carefully timed financial transition that will define Iraq's economic narrative for many years to come. Remain informed, be patient, and remember the financial maxim that as opportunity strongly favors those who prepare. The hidden wave has undeniably arrived, and the subsequent dinar surge is much more than a simple news headline. It is a fundamental realignment of global financial attention. For holders, investors, and keen observers, this is a truly pivotal moment. The signs are ubiquitous, the systems are demonstrably in place, and the next sequence of events has the potential to redefine everything. Keep your focus locked on the official channels, meticulously verify all sources of information, and be fully ready to act. As history is being written right now, and this is your unparalleled vantage point to witness one of the most dramatic financial stories in recent memory.